This lesson is about parabolas, and it's the last one in our set about circles, ellipses, and parabolas. Let's start by saying what a few of these things are. The set of all points that are equidistant from a fixed line is called the directrix, and a fixed point is called the focus. That's where that foci has been coming from when we've been talking about that. The vertex is HK, and we've been talking about that. If the parabola opens up or down, then it's y minus k, its equation is y minus k over equals 1 over 4c, and the c comes from the focus, times x minus h squared. Now, the reason we're calling it a focus instead of a foci is there is only one for a parabola. If it opens left or right, then it's x minus h equals 1 over 4c times y minus k squared. So, let's go ahead and take a look at this information. Let's look at two different examples. Number 1, I want you to determine the vertex, axis of symmetry, focus, and directrix of the parabola. And the parabola is y equals 1/12 x squared. So y equals 1/12 x squared. Okay. And actually I've already solved one thing for you. Let me back up a step. The problem is x squared equals 12y. So what we want to do is we want to solve for y by dividing by 12 on both sides, and that's how I got this right here. So the first step is solve for y. And the reason we want to solve for y is the y doesn't have the squared. So we look at which part has the squared. We want to solve for the part without the squared, so solve for y in this case. Then we want to find c by doing 1 over 12 equals 1 over 4c. And so, of course, then you should be able to figure out from there that c equals 3 because 4 times 3 is 12. Okay. Once we find our c, we know that the third step is, does it open up or down or right or left? Since the y is by itself, that most closely follows this one. Since it's positive, it opens up. And then also the focus is always inside, and the directrix is always outside. So when we draw this, let's go ahead and do our vertex. Since there isn't anything being subtracted here, the vertex is 0, 0. The focus is 0, 3, because we figured out that that c was 3. And when we're talking about the focus on a y equals, we want it in the y spot. And the directrix is just the opposite, so it's y equals -3. Also, the directrix is always a line. So this goes positive direction 3 because it opens up. This goes negative direction 3 because it opens up. So, if we want to draw this, we're going to draw our axes. We're going to draw our parabola pretty flat here. Our focus is 1, 2, 3 up. And our directrix is y equals -3. Our axis of symmetry is x equals 0 because that's where it's symmetrical. And that is it for example 1. Let's look at another one, example number 2. If I have y minus 3 quantity squared over 8, and I set that equal to sorry, I know I stopped there. I set that equal to x minus 2. And that's the original equation. Okay, notice this time that the squared is with a y, so this is going to be an opens left or right. I want to get the squared stuff on a side by itself and the x stuff on a side by itself. Okay, so that is already in progress. So what I want to do here next is I want to set this stuff right here, which is 1 over 8, equal to 1 over 4 times c. So we know that our c is equal to 2. We know that our vertex comes from our hk. H is 2, k is 3. Remember, I do opposite signs. My focus then changes in my x value, and so 2 away would be 4, 3, and 0, 3. I'm going to add and subtract. My directrix would be in the opposite direction, so that would be x equals 0. That would be this one. Remember, when I say focus, there should just be one. So focus is in the positive direction, directrix is in the negative direction. And let's go ahead and start to graph that. So I'm going to graph 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. My vertex, 1, 2, and 3. My focus is at 4, 3, and my directrix is at 0 because it's in the opposite direction. It's positive, so it's going to open right, like so, because it's, again, this is positive, so it opens to the right. And my axis of symmetry is right here. At y equals 3. And that is it. Your assignment is number 10. It's page 740. And that's numbers 5 to 10 and 14 to 18. Good luck, and let me know if you have questions.